Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Investment Trends, where we discuss the latest news in the stock market and the economy. So as of trading on Friday, the stock market has been relatively flat on the week, with all three major indexes teetering on a slight gain or a slight loss in the trading this week. However, we did see some major news as we saw all major banks in the U.S. report earnings this week. So it was once again a strong quarter for the majority of the large banks, such as JP Chase and Goldman Sachs. These banks saw a revenue and profit expectations beat on both sides. And one of the things that they also mentioned is earnings from investment banking, mergers and acquisition, interest income are all on the rise. However, we saw a couple of pieces of news from President Trump late last week that surprised some of the banks and even some of his largest supporters. So two things that President Trump proposed. One was that he would stop institutions from buying single-family homes in an effort to try to drive down the prices in the housing market. And the second thing we saw was a proposed interest rate cap at 10%. So any credit card interest that you may have outstanding would be capped at 10%. So right now in the US, the average interest on credit cards is about 23%. So this would be a drastic change. Major banks came out on Monday and were all vehemently opposed to this proposition. One of the things that they noted is this would tighten credit restrictions on consumers and could also have a drastic impact on the overall economy by decreasing spending. It's still to be determined if this will go through. It needs to go through Congress, but there is a deadline on this of January 20th. Also in the news, what we saw on Thursday were some of the tech sector and the AI chip makers gave a little bit of reprieve in the rally that they had seen. Once again, the market is continuing to rise based off of artificial intelligence, data centers, and once again, we are seeing a lot of the precious metals continue to rally. So silver and gold reached record highs earlier this week as the demand for these types of commodities continues to rise. So that's what I've got for this week. If you're following any certain stocks or sectors, please leave a comment below.